Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fleming Film Show with me, Robbie Fleming. Joining us, as always, is the lovely Justin Doyle. Hello, Justin.
Hey, Rob, what's going on?
What's going on is we have a special guest today. We have Mr. Will Crabbe, who we've not seen since the Fleming Awards. How you been?
Hey, Robbie. I'm good. Yeah.
Hey, Will.
Thanks for inviting me back on. I'm excited to talk about some of these films.
Yes. Today's category is our favourite non-English speaking films. The Oscars are soon, and we were thinking about, and obviously I recently watched Drive My Car, and I was thinking, why don't we talk about our top 5 favourite foreign language films?
Awesome. Yes, this is fun. I don't feel like a lot of podcasts or movie shows talk about the international side of things too much. So this is fun.
Yes, I have mentioned a couple of foreign language features on some of my list, but I wanted to have an episode dedicated to them. I think because it's Will's first time on the show since 2020, and since he won the last film when Whiplash was La La Land, he should go first. Will, would you like to tell us your top 5? Your 5th, sorry.
Yeah, sure. So I've got a bit of a mix here. I was trying to think, list out all the ones I've seen and pick out those ones I really want to talk about. There's quite a lot, but obviously they couldn't all make the list. There's some more left field choices in here, which I just really wanted to talk about. I don't know whether these are necessarily like my favourites, but I all think they're really good, and I don't think they're going to be in any particular order, really. But yeah, so at number 5, I've got the Spanish horror film Rec. Or Record. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it.
Yeah. What's this film about?
So
this is a found footage horror film. One of the actually good ones. It's not a controversial take, but so it kind of follows this kind of news reporter and her cameraman who are filming this kind of late night TV show following this these firemen who are being called out to this very late night call to this apartment block where there's some old woman screaming and locked in their apartment, and it turns out that there's a weird, horrible viral pathogen or whatever going around inside that apartment block. So they all get locked inside, quarantined by the military and the disease control people. So it's just a really horrible, claustrophobic horror film, because obviously it's done from the first person perspective. You're following the cameraman around, and just how they do it all, they use completely natural lighting, so it's really dark, and the building itself is just really tiny and small, so it's just really that horrible claustrophobia. And obviously you're stuck in there with basically mindless zombies, and everyone's turning, and it's they're constantly getting pushed back into tighter and tighter situations. It's just I think it's one of the scariest films I've ever seen. It's one of my favorite horror films, so that's why it made my list.
That one out. I'll have to check that one out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reveal my number 5, and then Justin will reveal his, and then we'll go around that way. That's how we normally do it.
Hey, Will, have you seen Rec 2, 3, and 4?
I've seen Rec 2. But not the 3rd and 4th one. The second one's pretty good. I don't really know much about the 3rd and 4th one. I think the 4th one, they actually got rid of the found footage thing, and it's just a normal kind of zombie film. I don't think it's got particularly good reviews.
It just sounds like it should be one where the first one's the best.
Yeah, it's one of those ones which didn't really need a sequel. But it was successful, so it's pretty much everything that's successful.
So basically,
getting a franchise.
They didn't need them terrible sequels. Right, you ready for my number 5, guys?
Ready.
So my number 5 is a movie from Mexico, and I could have chose a lot of directors. I have 3 favorite Mexican directors: Cuarón, Inarritu, and Del Toro. I could have went with Del Toro and Pan's Labyrinth, or I could have went with Cuarón's Roma, or his even better Mexican movie, E.T. Mama Tabien. But my number 5, who I went with, is Mr. Inarita and his directorial debut, Amos Perros.
Whoa, I thought this was going to be way higher on your pick.
I love this movie completely. I love how it kind of feels like a Mexican Pulp Fiction where you have 3 different stories, all linking together through one tragic event, and it's about how this event caused the before and aftermath for these people, and you actually see. And what makes this movie great is how Inarritu really goes and dives you into the world of Mexico, and it's just phenomenal how he captures because obviously back in Mexico the dogfighting was legalized, so they used to do it to make a living, and that film actually got it banned. So yeah, I credit this movie quite a lot for its storytelling and how Inarritu directs this movie, and that's my number 5, Amos Perros.
I've never heard of that one, actually.
Oh, definitely.
I'm going to admit, so I have to add that to my list.
Add it to your list. You will not regret it.
We did this movie from my channel, and yeah, it was really good. I never had seen it before. I really enjoy the stories sort of crisscrossing and everything kind of lines up. But yeah, since you haven't seen it, well, we shouldn't say much about it because it's a really, really beautiful film.
It is.
But yeah, I thought it was going to be your number 1, but I guess we'll wait and find out what is.
Yes.
Because we can't have E2 Mama Tambien in there now.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that would probably be in the top 10 E.T. Mama Tambien if we were doing more countries.
Nice.
So yeah. So what's your number 5, and from what country is it from?
Okay, my number 5 comes from a country called Japan. It was up for Best International Feature. It was probably up for Best Foreign Feature when it was still named that. And I just thought this was a really good year for 2018. The winner this year was Roma, so we know it was a good year. But this movie just really hit me in a different way, and it's called Shoplifters.
I've always wanted to see that. I heard it's really good.
It's a really good one.
It's very good. Yeah, it's about a Japanese couple who are really struggling finding jobs, and so the way that they make ends meet is by shoplifting. And they find this kid out in the cold and bring her in and kind of show her the ways of the family, and they all become just a family of shoplifters. Of course, because of the family habits, eventually their motivations are being shown and talked about, and things they're under the microscope a little bit, and things kind of go crazy. But I just thought it was really, really beautiful, very simple. Nothing that's really kind of over. It didn't have any sort of stylization like Roma did, which to me is, you can just have a simple film with this simple family and just some good cinematography and good production design. And it worked really well for me, and I really enjoyed it. So Shoplifters is my number 5 from Japan.
Good choice, good choice. I do want to check it out. Do you have any other honorable mentions from Japan?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can talk about the big ones. I mean, Drive My Car this year was pretty damn good.
Seven Samurai is a classic.
Yeah.
Shimon is a classic.
I was thinking about that for a while, yeah.
I like Ikiru. That was nearly made my list. Akira Kurosawa.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my number 5.
Nice. So, Will, what's your number 4?
So my number 4 was one that I've just saw last year. I kind of wanted to watch it for ages. It's Perfect Blue by Satoshi Kon. So it's an anime film. It's just so it follows this kind of actress. Well, actually, she's not an actress. She's like an idol or whatever in Japan, singer, who decides to kind of leave her kind of like pop group or whatever and start a career as an actress. But then there's kind of like an obsessed fan or whatever ends up stalking her because they want the old what's her name? I can't remember what the character's name is.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah, so then bad things all start happening all around her to like her management and stuff, and basically she ending up losing her kind of like grip on reality, and it's a really great psychological thriller horror. I think it's just another one of those ones where it's like this is for all the people who say that like anime is for kids or whatever, because it's like, it's one of the most messed up films I've seen for a while.
Here at Robbie Reviews and on the Fleming Film Show, we love anime here.
Yeah,
what was the name of the movie?
Perfect Blue. Because it's one of those films that's been very influential for like Western cinema as well, because like especially Darren Aronofsky for Requiem of a Dream and Black Swan, particularly lots of that kind of like it's kind of the story beats more for like a Black Swan, but like the kind of like the shots and like some of the cinematography is kind of basically aped in Requiem for a Dream as well.
Yes, and Satoshi Kon's one of the greatest animators of all time. It is a shame that he died so young and he only made 4 movies, but my favorite movie of his is his last movie, and what I think to be is his masterpiece, and I don't think he could have ever topped this movie. It's Paprika.
I like that film, but I don't think I was personally as big a fan of that as Perfect Blue. Perfect Blue just kind of blew my mind really.
Paprika has a more required taste to it.
Yeah, and again, that's kind of like another one where it's kind of because it's very Inception-y.
Yeah. What inspired Nolan to make Inception?
So yeah, Satoshi Kon was a really great filmmaker. He's made very influential films. So if you've not checked out any of his films, you should do it.
Really. He's only got 4 of them, so you might as well watch them all.
Yeah, it won't take you long to get through them.
Yeah. Right, you ready for my number 4? Because it is from a part of Asia as well. My number 4 is a South Korean movie. Parasite kind of pulled the bomb for this, but Parasite is not my favourite Korean movie. I'm going to have to give this one to the old school classic Old Boy.
Knock it off.
I love this movie. This is about a man who's been locked in a hotel room for 15 years, and he comes out to get his revenge on his captors and find his missing daughter, and find out who kept him there. And this movie has some fantastic shots. It's a well-written screenplay. The acting is fantastic. Normally, you can't really see acting, whether it's good or bad, in foreign movies. But what's the guy's name? Choi Park something. The main guy. He is fantastic. He is a fantastic actor, and he really shows how good he is in this movie. But yeah, I love Old Boy. I highly recommend this to anybody because I think it's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life, and just the way it's constructed. Have you guys ever seen this movie?
Yeah, it's one I saw last year. I'd kind of been hyping it up for ages. Like I'd heard everyone going on about it, like how it's basically like the greatest film ever made and stuff like that. But I think maybe when I watched it, my expectations were like through the roof. I might have put them too high because I kind of felt a bit disappointed with it, in all honesty. But I don't know whether that's just because I was placing so much expectation on it. But like,
that's what I do. That's what happens to me. The films I get really hyped for don't end up being my favourites, but the one I'm underhyped for turns out to be my favourites. Now it's just how it works. Yeah,
I mean, it's one of those films that I really wanted to like because there were just like so many aspects, like the cinematography. I think I wrote in like one of my reviews for it was just like, well, it's just like one of those films where you can like take any shot and just like take it and just hang it in like an art gallery or something. And I just thought the editing was really good as well, which is something I don't really think about much when I'm watching films. But it's like,
I've only seen the Spike Lee version, and I loved it. So
then you'll love the Korean version even more.
I doubt it because I won't be surprised by anything. The whole thing about the movie is the surprise. It's like, what? It's a total mind F. Like I still think about that movie.
Yeah, but although I much love Spike Lee, Park directs it better.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I only know by the newer one.
You should still watch the older one anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, Josh Brolin's in the other one, Elizabeth Olsen.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Do they have oneers, like the one takes like they do in Spike Lee's?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a hallway shot where he's like acting like people left, right, and center. It's fantastic.
Sweet. Oh, dang it. I just thought of one. God dang it. All right.
So, do you have a number 4?
Yeah, but can I change out my number 5? Yeah, my number 4. God bless it. Should have thought about this more. My number 4 is a movie that was also up for a Best International Film just recently, just a few years ago. It lost to Parasite, but it came out of Spain and was directed by Pedro Almodovar, and it's Pain and Glory.
Ooh,
I
need to see this
loved
one.
Pain and Glory. This is about a movie that it's a film director. He reflects on his choices that he's made in his life and his past and in present come crashing down around him. This is starring Antonio Banderas and of course Penelope Cruz, because she's in all of his movies.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give too much away because the ending is really how it all sort of comes together. But I really just love this because it's based on making movies. Like, this is what I do for a living. This is what I love. This is why we're talking about, why we're talking today, is because we all love movies. And so does Pedro Almodovar. And you can tell that when he's making this movie. And I just thought it was beautiful, vibrant colors, but also like, even white was very vibrant, even though it's such a pale color. He just really knows his colors. He knows how to pick his actors, and he knows how to pick his production.
He's the Spanish Wes Anderson.
Yeah, I wouldn't say. I think he's the Spanish Del Toro.
Just without Almodovar, he's a bit more grounded.
Yeah, but he knows how to pick like his spots where he's shooting. They're always beautiful. It always works with the story.
I want him to make a film set in either America or the UK.
Yeah,
I think he'd be good at doing an English film one day.
He knows what he's doing. I think he's a fantastic director. And I just really love this movie. I don't want to say much because I really think it will, the ending is the most powerful part of the movie. And it sort of all brings it together. It's pretty much just like in the title, or just like in the description. Past, present comes crashing down around him, and that's really true. But I really love this movie. Have you guys seen this?
No, but I recently watched Parallel Mothers and I loved it.
Yeah. This, to me, Pain and Glory is better than Parallel Mothers, but
you need to see All About My Mother.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that one's really good. But I will check out Pain and Glory in return.
Oh yes, I do need to see this one. Yes.
And I want to see Talk to Her from 2002.
Yeah, my girlfriend works at the Academy Museum here, and they have a whole floor dedicated to Pedro Almodovar, and
Nice.
It's so awesome. Every screen is playing the movie, a different movie, and photos everywhere, and posters, and you see a lot of Penelope Cruz, that's for sure.
Nice. So we're now down to the top 3. Will, what's your number 3?
Right, so number 3 is kind of one of my, I think it's probably the most left field choice on the list. Mostly because it's a film that I really enjoyed, but I've never heard anyone ever mention before, or like anyone I've spoken to has never heard of it or never seen it. It's a Lebanese film called West Beirut.
Ooh, tell us about that.
So it's I think it was released in '98. It's I found it on Netflix just randomly.
Okay.
Great treasure trove of just foreign language films just hidden away. So it's kind of set during the start of the Civil War in Lebanon or Beirut in the 70s. So it kind of follows this kind of group of like teenage friends who like making films with like the Super 8 camera or whatever. And it's just basically telling or reflecting the story of this conflict or war through like the kind of innocent eyes of like the children or whatever, like from the experience of like the initial start of it, where it's kind of like distant. It doesn't really affect them. It's kind of this interesting, exciting kind of thing that they don't really think about that much. Like they're more enthralled by it or anything. But then as the film goes on, it kind of becomes more and more apparent. It kind of the conflict becomes like closer and like on their doorstep, and it's just I don't know what I like about it so much, because like it's not like the best film ever made, but there's something about it that just got me and that just grabbed me. Because like I think the acting is a bit off, because like quite a lot of the people in it weren't like professional actors. It's kind of harder to tell with like a foreign language film, I think.
Yeah,
Acting,
I was saying with Old Boy.
Yeah, because like I think the main character is played by the director's son.
Ooh.
And then there's another character, which is an interesting bit of trivia I found out, which is the main character's friend. He was basically living in an orphanage until he got cast in this film, and he had no previous acting experience. And basically, this just started his acting career in Lebanon. I don't know what else he's done, but yeah, I don't know why I like the film so much, but it's just one film that I recommend to everyone. Just another bit of trivia about the score. It's the film score is composed by Stuart Copeland, who's probably best known as being the drummer in The Police.
He made the Sonic theme, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, and he also did the Spyro the Dragon games as well. Because I was really confused while I was watching it, because I was like, this music sounds like Spyro. This is it's just like, this is really weird. And then I saw the credits roll, and I was like, oh, that's Stuart Copeland, just a really random, just I don't know how he ended up composing it, but yeah, just listen to like the Spyro the Dragon music, and then listen to like the score from this film, and it's I don't know, that's just another thing that made it stick in my head. But yeah, it's just a film that I don't see anyone ever mentioning or talking about.
Nice.
But it's really good.
I want to check that one out.
And just Lebanese films that I've seen in general are just really good. So if that's an area of foreign cinema, if people want to develop more, then I'll recommend it.
Have you ever watched the Iranian films?
I've not watched many, I don't think. I think I've only watched A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. I think it's called. The vampire. The weird, it's like a vampire western something or other. It's kind of an interesting arty film.
Yeah, the movie poster always caught my eye. It's so interesting for that movie.
Cool. You ready for number 3?
Yep.
Let's hear it.
Right. So number 3 is from France. France have a history of films, but even though they have a massive history of films, there are probably loads out there that I haven't seen, which are probably better than this film. I just couldn't say no to last year's Palme d'Or winner, Julia Ducournau's Titane. Have you guys? I know Justin has. Have you seen this movie, Will? It is one of the best movies you'll see from last year. So this is about a girl who gets involved in an accident many years ago, and she's attracted to metal. And there's also a subplot going on where this fireman is trying to find his missing son, and they kind of link in together in a very horrific way. And the rest of the movie I just can't tell you about because of how amazing this film is directed, acted, the cinematography, the music, the editing. It's everything about this. It was near my top 10 last year, and I just absolutely loved it. I had a blast with it. I kind of knew that the Cannes Film Festival did a good job in picking this movie, but why didn't they nominate it for Oscars? I don't know. They had the coolest foreign movie ever, and why wasn't it nominated?
Yeah, I mean It's unforgettable. You'll never forget what happens in that movie. It's just
No.
boof, mind bending and blowing. But yes, it is one of those where go in as blind as possible because you'll be surprised and weirded out, and it's just like you said, really well done acting, directing, and it's interesting, something we never will see before or ever again, hopefully.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I just watched her earlier film Raw the other day, which I liked. So I'm probably gonna have to check out.
Titan is so much better. I love Raw, but Titan is on another level.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Raw, but I know that that's also a movie that is unforgettable from what happens inside that film.
Yeah. We all love it anyway, Justin.
I bet. All right. Well, my number 3 is also from France. To me, should have been up for Best International Picture, but since you're only allowed to have one entrant from each country, for some reason, France picked Les Miserables by Lady Lee for international entrant for the Oscars in 2019, also same year as Pain and Glory and Parasite. This movie is it's about women. It's about two women on an island, and it's called Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Yes,
that's my number 2.
Sweet.
What a beautiful film. They picked the perfect place to film this story, that takes place 1800s, I believe, 18th century. Yeah. And it's about a girl who comes and visits this woman who's getting married, and she wants a marriage portrait painted of her. And the two really seem to hit it off, even though, one of them is really standoffish and almost sort of like suicidal.
Yeah.
And they have this sort of bond and friendship. And it's unlike anything that I've seen. I mean, we talked about Vibrant Colors with Pedro Almodovar, but the way that Celine Sciamma really brings out the colors in this film is very, very interesting. I love the ocean where they are, and the scene, like even the poster, just looking at the scene where the girl is just standing in the field and she has fire at her feet. I mean, that's what this movie is. It sort of is all that. It's very, very artistic and artsy. Not too much dialogue, but when the dialogue is there, it's really important and really means something. I just thought this movie I was blown away by it. It was actually my third favorite film of that year, just overall. I just thought it was really well done, and it has a lot of sort of cult following to it, I think, and nobody will ever forget Page 23. So it's a fantastic, fantastic film, and to have a woman director, 2 women leads, and no men in it at all is pretty damn good for me to still be engaged the entire time. So number 3 is Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
And why is it Will's number 2? Let's hear Will's thoughts on this movie.
Well, I thought this would probably happen at some point, that we'd have the same films, but I just kind of just echoing the same sort of thoughts as Justin there. It's like, it's just I think it's just a beautiful film, just in every kind of regard, just in terms of the story, how it's just constructed, the music that's used as well.
And it's a nice film to just chill out to, just have on in the background as well.
Yeah. It's just the acting is really good between the two leads. Is it Noemi Merlon and Adele Haenel?
Yes.
They're both really great. Like, I've actually been trying to watch more stuff with Adele Haenel in it. But yeah.
Are you guys planning to see the director's next film, Petite Mama?
Yeah, I seriously want to see that. I can't wait.
At some point, it's just hard because with lots of the international films, it's just hard to watch them really, or they don't get released until quite late here.
Yeah, I think that one did have a limited release in the UK, so it might be on streaming or something.
Also, Valeria Golino's in this movie, and she was in Hot Shots and Rain Man, and I had a huge crush on her when I was a kid, and when I saw her in this movie, I was like, no way, because she's visually stunning. But yeah, it was awesome to see her in another role because it's been a couple decades.
Yeah, yeah. So, are you ready for my number 2?
Bring it on.
My number 2 goes to one of my favourite other countries in Europe, Italy. Italy is known for food, a lot of nice food, but it does have some beautiful films. Recently, I watched 8½, spectacular movie, and I could easily give this spot to Roberto Bellini's Life is Beautiful, but I don't think I would have got into Italian cinema if it wasn't for my number 2, Cinema Paradiso, one of the most beautiful movies you'll ever see in your life. This is about a director reminiscing on this old theatre which is about to be demolished, and he goes and he reminisces about his childhood as a boy growing to love cinema and going off on and just exploring about his life and how he's dedicated his life to loving cinema. I've loved this movie completely. It's one of the best written movies I've ever seen in my life. It's just beautiful. And Ennio Morricone score is beautiful. You know, if you have not heard it, Google it, Spotify it, YouTube it. Just listen to it. It's the most beautiful piece of music by Ennio Morricone ever. And God, I just love this movie. I've been meaning to give it a second watch because of how much I love it. And I can't. And I would just recommend anybody who loves Italian movies this movie. My number 2, Cinema Paradiso. Have you guys seen this movie?
Yeah, I saw it. Can't remember when. Quite a few months ago. Yeah, I was just thinking. It's just a film that's just made for film lovers. I really liked it. I've not seen that many Italian films, to be honest. I think that's probably one of the only ones I've seen. So
Yeah.
I need to work on that.
There's a lot of them, and they're all very good. I need to see Hand of God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's been on my list for ages. And I'm going to watch 8½, at some point.
Oh, you'll love 8½.
The Hand of God is nominated for Best International Feature, and if we were allowed to pick multiples from multiple countries, that Hand of God could have been in my top 5 for sure. I really, really enjoyed that movie.
Is it?
But I haven't seen Cinema.
You haven't seen Cinema Paradiso?
No, I know it's really slipped me in my viewing, but I know that I need to. And doing some research about international films, I was like, that one was like number 1 for most lists. It's definitely one that needs to be seen. Let's see if it's even. How do you watch this? Yeah. You guys really like this is 88. This is on Apple TV Plus to rent. Nothing for free though. Cool. All right. Ready for number 2?
Yes.
Sticking with a Lebanese film. This movie came out in 2018, was up for Best International Feature, same as Shoplifters, and the same year that Roma won. But I really thought this was my favorite international feature of the year, and it's from Lebanon, and it's called Kaepernick. This is about a little boy who served a 5-year sentence because he did something violent. But the 12-year-old boy who sues his parents for neglect. It's about that. He wants to sue his parents. And you just follow him. This little boy who's Zain al-Rafia. You just follow him in his travels. He has to take care of this little kid because the parent isn't around. He walks into this sort of house. He's a drifter, so he walks into this house and there's this baby just alone. So no parents around, so he kind of takes it under his wing and really takes care of it. And it's so beautiful. The kid is so charming. so cute. And then he takes care of a baby. He's only 12. You know, how is he going to do that? He's literally walking the streets holding this baby's hand, you know, trying to find a parent, like somebody that can take care of him, because he's only 12. I just thought it was just beautifully done, brilliantly done. To have a movie about kids and have it be entertaining and an international film, I mean, I was blown away by it. My girlfriend was too. It was one of my favorite. It was one of my favorite movies of that year for sure. And yeah, it's just a stunning piece of cinema. I just thought it was awesome. Kaepernick.
Nice. I'll check it out.
It's really good.
I've never heard of that one. And I'm supposed to be the champion of Lebanese cinema.
Oh. I don't know why, but I thought your number 2 was going to be The Salesman, Justin.
Yeah, it just missed my top 5.
Yeah, I prefer a hero anyway.
Yeah.
So, Will, what's your champion? What's your favourite foreign language movie of all time?
Right. Well, this was I think it came out, my favourite film I watched all of last year. Not as in released last year, but just a film I watched just that year for the first time.
Yeah.
It's a Danish film.
Yes, I like this.
Probably guess the director from that. It's Thomas Vinterberg, but it's not Another Round. It's
does it star Mads Mikkelsen?
Yes, it definitely does star Mads Mikkelsen.
I know which movie you're on about.
And Thomas Bo Larsen. It's The Hunt from 2012.
Me and Justin have spoke about this movie before. I love The Hunt.
Yeah, it's just wow. It's a fantastic film. Just I was just like, it's one of those films where I just couldn't look away from the screen. It had me engrossed throughout the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's about Mads Mikkelsen plays this divorcee teacher who's kind of got this kind of distant relationship with his son. He's trying to sort all that stuff out. He's working at like kind of local preschool, kindergarten, whatever. Yeah. And essentially, a simple little lie from one of the children at the school kind of completely destroys his life. And it's just the kind of watching it, the frustration of it. It's kind of Shakespearean in a way. I can't remember what the thing is, but Shakespeare used it a lot in his plays. It's the kind of where the audience knows something that the people or the cast or whatever, the people in the play, the people in the film do not know. And it's just like, no, because obviously we know he's innocent. He hasn't done anything, but to everyone else in the film, he's, you know, basically a child molester or whatever. And because like from you, it's frustrating. It's like, why are you doing this to him? Why are you destroying his life? But it's like, if you're on the other side of the thing, that coin, you'd probably respond in the same way, I guess. But it's that kind of the thing of how like a lie can just grow and grow like a wildfire and just consume everything and all kind of become the new truth.
About that last shot, because that last shot blew my mind.
What was the name of the movie?
The Hunt. We reviewed it for we love Mads Mikkelsen.
Yes.
Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen's brilliant in that. I think he got an award at the Cannes Film Festival for Best Actor. It was nominated for International Film at the Oscars.
Was he not up for Best Actor that year?
No, but I wish he was now, thinking about it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic film. I mean, it is messed up, but a really, really good film. And Thomas Vinterberg and Mads Mikkelsen, I mean, they're like...
They're the Johnny Depp and Tim Burton of Denmark, aren't they?
I was going to say, like, Scorsese and Leo.
Yeah.
I was going to go Depp. But, no, fantastic pick. I thought we were going to have another round or a Hunt in here.
Yeah. You know? I was contemplating another round, but I just like this one better, I think, than another round.
Yeah. I do as well, because I feel like that's got more like dramatic tone to it, and it's got a beautiful style, whereas another round just seems like it would just be a typical like buddy comedy.
Yes, good choice. That's a very good number one.
Yes, yes. And do you want to hear my number one?
Definitely.
Man,
My
no
number
way.
one is a Brazilian film, and it's City of God.
Oh, nearly made my list, that one. Just missed out.
I love this movie because of how it shows you the life if you lived in Brazil, and the way how they lived back during the 60s and 80s throughout that time period. It really captures the setting of Brazil because Brazil is rough. It's a horrible place ran by a horrible government, and obviously, people walk around like killing each other. They all get into gangs. If you're not one of the top, you're living in the slums trying to kill or rob anybody just to make it through the day. And you have this boy who's Rocket, and all he wants to be is a photographer. He doesn't want anything to do with that lifestyle. He just wants to take beautiful pictures. And I showed it to a friend the other day, and he really enjoyed it as well. And I think that the way how it's shot, it looks like you're watching a Brazilian documentary. It feels grounded and realistic and everything. And what makes a quality movie? And this movie really showed me that other countries can still make entertaining movies even if they're not speaking English. And that's why City of God is my number one and the best foreign film I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Have you seen this one, Justin?
I have not.
You need
Not seen it.
it's definitely a worthy choice.
Yes.
91% on Rotten Tomatoes. Pretty good.
It got quite a few Oscar nominations, didn't it?
Yeah, but not best international film, which must have been annoying back then.
No, instead it was The Barbarian Invasions, Evil, The Twilight Samurai, Twin Sisters, and Zellery. Have you guys heard of any of those movies?
No, but I've heard the City of God.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't get nominated then. That's surprising. Because it's like, yeah, it's one of those films that's permeated into kind of more mainstream sort of film culture in a way.
Yeah, this is what me and Cody were saying, that many of the greatest movies haven't won Oscars.
12 Angry Men. That's a lot
I mean, the Oscars aren't the standard of what makes a good movie, but you know, they sometimes know what they're talking about. I mean, again, like, why choose Les Miserables over Portrait of a Lady on Fire? It's so crazy. All right. Well, we all know what my number one is because it's one of my all-time favorite movies. Came out in 1997. It's my only 90s movie. This movie is directed and starring and written by Roberto Benigni, and it's Life is Beautiful.
I love this movie as well.
I mean, we can talk about his acting, we can talk about his directing, we can talk about his writing. I mean, every single thing that he did in this movie was phenomenal. Winner of Best International Feature. This is about a Jewish Italian waiter who meets a girl and they fall in love and have a kid, and the kid and the dad get separated from the mom and get sent to a concentration camp because this is happening during the war. And just what happens when they're in that concentration camp for Roberto Benigni to have his son not really get what's going on, like try to take his mind out of what's happening in the world. And even like he's showing him like secret hiding spots, and you know, he just really is trying to make the best of the absolute worst situation you can be in. And even though we're watching it and we know what's happening and we know it's going to happen, we're laughing. We're laughing with them. We're having a great time. And the whole point of it is in the title, and that life is beautiful. And it's so true. And it's how you can determine it for yourself to make it beautiful. So
I think it's about making light out of the darkest of situations.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, like, your life can be crap, but if you try to take it in sort of a enlightening way and lighten it up, I mean, you can mentally turn, you know, your thoughts around and make it seem like life is beautiful. Because obviously they didn't put themselves in this situation; they were forced into it. So it's not like they did anything to deserve it. It's just a beautiful, beautiful film, and Roberto Benigni is is just phenomenal.
Is
in
it
that.
because he's the only person who can wear all the hats in the movie and still pull it off?
Yeah, well, you know who does that pretty well nowadays is or he did was Bradley Cooper. I thought he
Yeah.
did a really good job acting, directing, and writing Star is Born.
And so did
Um,
Kevin Costner in Dances with Wolves.
Yes, of course. Yes. I don't know. I can talk about this movie forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also won for actor in leading role, and it's so deserved. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful film. Have we all seen this?
Yes.
Yeah, I watched it
Yeah.
a really long time ago though, so I need to rewatch
Yeah.
it again at some point because I think it made my shortlist, but it's like I haven't really seen it in a really long time, so I can't really put it into my list because I can't really talk about it. But yeah,
I love the film.
I want to see more stuff with Roberto Benigni.
Yeah, he just did Pinocchio last year. The one that I wish that I had said at number 5 was Raid Redemption, the action film that came out in 2011 about a SWAT team who gets trapped in a tenement run by ruthless mobsters.
Is that
And then
the sequel to The Raid?
no, it's the first one is called The Raid Redemption, which is so weird.
And the
But
second one's The Raid 2.
yeah. It is just so badass. I mean, I've never seen action like this ever, and I'm a huge action
Nice.
guy. Like that's my favorite genre is probably action movies.
Do you like
And
Dread?
you're like what?
Dread, the Carl Urban film?
Yeah, it's similar. It's similar. You know,
Yeah.
he's in that sort of compound he has to get out of, but this movie does it way better, and just the the swordsmanship in it, the fighting, the hand-to-hand combat, it all is just ridiculous, and it should have been in my top 5 because I will watch that movie anytime, anywhere.
It sounds like a mix between Dread and John Wick.
Yeah, well, we know that Raid at least came before John Wick. When did Dread? Yeah, and Dread. So yeah, it did it first.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
So should we do some honorable mentions?
Yes, I have the Chungchu Express from Hong Kong, Wong Kar-wong's movie. A Hero from Iran. What else is there? I'm just trying to. All About My Mother, Pedro Almodovar.
What about Pan's Labyrinth?
Pan's Labyrinth. Oh, Battle Royale, the Japanese film. I love that movie. Tell me you've seen that one, Justin.
No.
You need to see Battle Royale.
Oh, really?
Yes. If you love action, you'll love Battle Royale.
Okay. Let me see about this one. What about you, Will?
I've got a lot of films on my shortlist.
Is Battle Royale on there, Will?
No, unfortunately not. I don't know what to do because I've got a lot of Japanese films on here. I don't know whether to just
like
name
the Hunger
ones from
Games.
countries that I haven't mentioned.
Yeah.
So I've got Mommy, which is from Canada.
Ooh.
Or French Canada, so it's all in French. That's really good. By Xavier Dolan. Troll Hunter, which I kind of wanted to put on my list because it's another found footage film, but I thought I might have a bit saturation of found footage, and it's really not like the best film, but I really like it. It's from Norway. It's one of my favorite found footage films, up there with Wreck and Cloverfield. Ikiru I mentioned, but that's another Japanese one. City of God is in my top 10. What else?
If I had to pick an anime, I'd pick either Paprika or Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah, I've got Princess Mononoke in the top 10. Again, that's another Japanese one. I've got Come and See, which is a war film. I don't know if it's Belarusian or Russian, But yeah, that is pretty. It's probably the most graphically disturbing war film
and
ever
also
made.
Parasite, the only one to win Best Picture.
Yeah, Parasite's on here. Oh yeah, because I haven't mentioned South Korea, but I've actually got Memories of Murder ahead of
Yes.
Parasite on my list.
Yes, that's
Just watched that recently.
Yeah, and I've got some random ones in here, just from ones that I remember seeing that I thought were good. There's Aniara, which is a Swedish sci-fi film about a ship that's going to colonize Mars that gets knocked off course and lost in space. It's very existentialist. It's quite a depressing film, so you've got to be in the right frame of mind before you watch it. Yeah. Wings of Desire by Wim Wenders, a German film.
Nice.
But yeah, that pretty much, yeah. The rest are kind of like the obvious candidates, but
Amelie.
right.
Amelie is an honorable mention as well.
Yep. Amelie, The Salesman. Wild Tales is really good. Came out 2014. Sort of a few different. It's like an anthology film.
Where's that one from?
Argentina.
Ooh.
The Hunt. Yeah. Is great.
Another Round. It's great.
Yeah, Another Round. Corpus Christi from Poland a couple years ago was really, really good. I just thought the actor was phenomenal in it. Also, I liked last year. The Man Who Sold His Skin was really interesting. About a guy who sold his back for somebody to tattoo art onto it, and then he's a moving art piece. So he'd go to different galleries and just sit there, and people would come and look at his back. I just thought it was really interesting. That one is from Tunisia. I thought, The Hand of God is really good from Italy this year. The Worst Person in the World was really good, Norway this year. I liked Flea a lot, even, Denmark. Yeah. So there we have it. Of course, Raid Redemption should be there.
Yes.
Let's see. What was the first? The first international film to win is called Shoeshine out of Italy in 1947.
I keep meaning to see Bicycle Thieves.
I saw the Americanized version of it.
Nice.
Yes. Cool. All right. Let's run them down. What was your number 5, Will?
My number 5 was Wreck from Spain.
My number 5 was Amos Perros from Mexico.
My number 5 was Shoplifters from Japan.
My number 4 was Perfect Blue, also from Japan.
My number 4 was from South Korea, and it was Old Boy.
My number 4 is from Spain, and it's Pain and Glory.
My number 3 is West Beirut from Lebanon.
My number 3 is Titan from France.
I also have a France pick with Portrait of a Lady on Fire coming in at number 3.
And my number 2 is also Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
My number 2 is Cinema Paradiso from Italy.
My number 2 is from Lebanon called Capernaum.
My number 1 is Thomas Vinterberg's The Hunt from Denmark.
My number 1 is City of God from Brazil.
And my number 1 is Roberto Benigni's Life is Beautiful from Italy.
Yay! Solid list.
Solid.
Thank you.
I'm shocked that we do have a crossover, because the way it was going, I was like, "There's no way." And then, we had one crossover, so that's fun.
Yeah, I was expecting more crossovers, to be honest. So only having one is pretty good, because we managed to cover a whole bunch of different films there.
Because I do like some of the films that both of you guys choose, but it's just hard to narrow them down when you have to pick one. Like, if I pick this list, it'd probably be City of God, and then most of, like, Italian or South Korean or Mexican films.
Yeah, if we just went all-time favorite international films, like, it could have totally been different, because Will could have had more Japanese in there, and I would have had more Italy, and what would you have had more of?
Probably South Korean or Mexican.
Yeah, Mexico for sure.
Yeah. Mexico with some fantastic directors.
Sure. Yeah. Yep. Wow, this is great. This was a 14 different movies. That's pretty dang good.
Yeah, 14 different movies, all great movies. If you haven't checked any of these out, go out and check them out.
Well, I want to see, or I should see Old Boy. I think that's that one in Cinema Paradiso. And I kind of want to see Wreck now.
You should see City of God as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I like the horror element to it. That's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to recommend the film this week. As I do in Marvel Mondays, the next Marvel film is out on Monday, and it's Angley's Hulk, and that's my recommendation because I think it's an underrated movie and it doesn't get the credit it deserves. I feel like it was the first artistic superhero film in a way.
I don't know if anybody's ever recommended Hulk. But
I was just having a blast from the past. It's not a great movie. I just think it deserves a bit more recognition.
Will, what have you seen this week that you'd like to recommend?
Oh, I don't know. What have I seen this week off the top of my head? Well, I guess this week it's going to have to be Raw because that's the only one I've seen that's got a high rating.
Raw is a better movie than Hulk. I'll give you that one.
I watched a movie yesterday that was just really surprising to me. It's called Redeeming Love. It got crapped on in the theaters. Nobody went and saw it. It doesn't have a good score, but I think if you take the same story, give it to a different director, and put different actors in it, it probably could be up for awards. Like, I really just enjoyed. I like the actors. I thought they did a good job, but I just kind of like the story. It's based in. It's like a Western 1800s movie, and this girl is a whore, and this guy wants to get her out of that business, and because he actually does like her and is in love with her. And it's about that, and how women get treated, how they still get treated, but how they were treated back then. And yeah, I think if you put Jessica Chastain and Oscar Isaac in the role and give it to like
Kevin Costner,
Jane Campion, Kevin Costner, I think it could be a solid flick. And I just really like it. Was surprising to me. It's not good, guys. It's not good. But yeah, it's called Redeeming Love. Came and went in theaters, and I was able to stream it. So, yeah. But I probably would recommend going to see Raw out of the three.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah. Sweet. All right. Well, can people find you? You're on YouTube, right? You do your reviews there.
Yeah, I've got my YouTube. Not been active for a while, but hopefully I'll pick that up again at some point.
Yeah,
might have to change my approach.
Yeah,
might have to stop doing film reviews and just focus on like roundups and stuff like that, focusing on various things. It's just I don't have that much time these days. But most of my stuff's on Letterboxd these days.
Your appearance on this episode has given you a little boost as well. And you're always welcome back onto the show as well.
I mean, yeah, it's always good to talk about stuff. Really enjoy it.
Yes. And join me and Justin next week. We are going to be joined by Felipe Galdardo, hopefully. I'm going to talk about Batman movies to celebrate the release of the Batman.
Have you seen them all, Will? Have you seen every Batman movie released in the theaters theatrically?
I've only ever seen the Christopher Nolan ones.
What?
Choice.
You've never seen even Batman?
No. I mean, I've been meaning to, but it's just like, Wow. I've got a lot of stuff on my watch list.
Have you seen Batman versus Superman? Dang.
Yeah, I've not really watched that many superhero films in general. It's just not really my kind of genre, I guess.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, they're
Fair
not
enough.
for everybody.
Nope, not for Martin Scorsese, not for Ford Coppola.
Not for Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, not for Denis Villeneuve, even though he kind of like Dune is a superhero movie.
Yeah, but Paul Thomas Anderson loves them.
Yeah, well, they're fun blockbuster films. I mean, they're just fun.
They
A
are.
little repetitive, a lot repetitive. But
Yeah.
anyway, all right.
Right, it's been nice talking to you guys today, and I'll see you guys another day.
Absolutely. Thanks
Yeah,
for having me,
definitely.
Rob. Good to see you, Will.
You too.
All
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. All right, bye, guys.
See ya.
See you. Bye.